Welcome back to another edition of Lab Notes, and this is where we dig into some of the recent 3D printing news that affects us in our home 3D printing labs. And now recently I put out a video where I told you about my experiences with the Snapmaker U1 that I bought, and happy to say everything's still going great. There's still a few more error messages that I would, like to not see, but they're fixing a lot of that. The main ones, it keeps telling me that some filament has broken in one of the tools and all. Anyway, it's just a thing that goes on. I continue, and so far I think I've only had one layer shift problem, but anyway, it's getting there and it prints awesome, and I'm loving not having all that extra waste. So in that, I also mentioned the full spectrum branch of Orca slicer that they put out specifically for the Snapmaker U1, but you can also use it with bamboo, and I've tried that. Looks pretty good. There's a lot of waste on the bamboos, but what has happened since then is Bamboo actually incorporated the full spectrum and put it into Bamboo Studio. And I say that they did that because that's not what they call it. It's just a very similar tool. But about a day later, Bamboo Studio released another update. And this one includes a full attribution to the creators of Full Spectrum. So cool. I am curious though if they either forgot or maybe thought it didn't matter. I prefer to think that they just forgot to add that in that version, but either way, they fixed it. And it's not like Bamboo hasn't had a lot going on. They came out with the P2S, which upgrades, new version of the P1S, but now they've also released the X2D combo. Now this is a mid-range enclosed machine, just like the X1 Carbon, dual nozzle printing that's aimed at faster output and better support handling, according to them. So dual nozzle X1 Carbon, kind of think along that line. And it supposedly is going to blend the features of the P2S and the H2 series, but in that smaller footprint. There is a heated chamber and air filtration for us to use at home. My biggest question about this one, even though it looks cool, and I have the H2D and I use it a lot, but what are the P2S people who just bought that? I wonder what they're thinking, because the P2S combo is $7.99. The X2D combo, at least at the time I'm doing this, the X2D combo is $8.99. So just $100 different. Now there are a couple of bigger differences, with the two nozzles, obviously. And then the 256 cube build plate is not really 256 cubed on the X2D. And I found this out on my H2D, that size is actually shrunk down because of those nozzles. One nozzle can go to one side, but then it can't go all the way to the other, and vice versa. So what they're saying is it's actually 235 for one nozzle, 235 for the other, but just shifted back and forth. So not a full build plate. So you're getting just slightly smaller. And yeah, it's a solid upgrade to the X1 Carbon that they're actually not making. But for $100 more, smaller prints, but it is faster and has less waste. So possibly, I would think probably a better choice over getting the P2S. Maybe. Let me know what you think, and just let us all know in the comments, if you've got P2S, what you think about all this. And by the way, while you're there, put more comments, please subscribe, and let other people know so the lab can continue to grow. Thanks. Well, also in the Snapmaker U1 video, I mentioned some other companies that are coming out with similar tool-changing printers. And one of those was the Flashforge Creator 5. Now, very obviously, it's targeting the Snapmaker U1. Now, currently, when I'm doing this, it's at a discount price of $649. That's going to go up to $799, and that's a good bit lower than the U1. Even when I got it, I was an early adopter, and right now it's at 950 for the U1. So, I mean, 650 versus 950, that's a big change, especially if it's really just as good. Now, Flashforge is claiming that, along with the multi-tool capability, it's 500% faster. I love marketing hyperbole, but they don't say exactly 500% faster than what? Maybe a old Ender 1? I don't know. But they're also saying a zero purge waste is what this one is going to have. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be possible. Anyway, April 20 was supposed to be the launch date, and pre-orders should be arriving soon. Now, hopefully it really is a great machine, and hopefully that price does stay low. So we'll have to see, because as I've always said, competition is good for us in our home labs. Well, I do have a question for you that's not, I promise this isn't off topic, but kind of different. Have you seen the movie Project Hail Mary? Because it's really good. We went to see it and absolutely loved it. But the reason I bring it up is the marketing for the movie has included a free 3D print file that you can get right on the site. And if you know who Rocky is, well, you're going to love this one. And I'm planning to print this one. They have let's see, they have supported, unsupported, and then they have just a plain statue, and then they have one that's all separate parts that you can snap together so it'll be more articulated, and they're supported and unsupported for that. The download is, they say, meant to let fans print their own souvenir at home, and there's versions for different printer types, but really all they gave you was STLs. Now the supported versions look like they're set up for resin, which is great. The way they set it up, it looks really good. I ended up putting it in mine and just doing tree supports, and that seemed to work well. So this is part of a trend of movie promotions that I think is really cool, to allow users to make their own downloads and prints just to build buzz. So I don't know what you think, but I'm going to put a link in the description for it to the movie, as well as a direct link to the file. No clue how long that's going to be up. Now, those of us that follow golf even a little bit know what the Masters Golf Tournament is, the Masters Championship. So I bring this up because one of the golfers, Bryson DeChambeau, one of the top golfers, he announced earlier this year he was going to have a 3D printed 5-iron, and he was planning to use it at the 2026 Masters. Now, I did watch a few rounds of that. He actually used it during the Masters, and this is a first in all of pro golf. First time somebody's used a 3D printed golf club in any tournament, at least as far as I was able to find. Now, he didn't win the tournament, but we're still talking about it, so that's a win for him. Now, the club was reportedly designed and fabricated by Bryson DeChambeau himself, and I think that's really cool. I never would have thought that he was into 3D printing and all of that. Apparently for this club, he had some very specific launch angle, loft, and spin numbers, and if you're into golf, you know what that is. And he needed those to fit his style. Instead of asking somebody else to do it, another company, it's going to cost a lot, he just made it himself. So this is yet another great example of how 3D printing is finding its way into our everyday lives. And to go along with that and to help us with that, some really super smart folks at MIT came up with something called VisiPrint. And this might be one of the best uses in 3D printing for AI that I've seen yet. Now, their research says that as much as a third of 3D printing material is wasted on bad prototypes. Yeah, I probably believe that. So they made VisiPrint to help cut that down by showing you what your print's actually going to look like before you waste all that filament on a test print. Now, they're saying it only takes about a minute. AI generates a preview for you using 2 very simple inputs. All it needs is a screenshot from your slicer and a photo of the material you plan to print with. And I don't begin to understand how that works. I know AI can look at photos and stuff, but what it's doing is it's trying to predict appearance details like color, gloss, translucency, and even some effects from the layer-by-layer printing process. Now, MIT says, of course, this matters because normal slicer previews, they just focus, as we know, on, the shape and the function and things like that, but not the final look. I would love if the preview gave us a better look instead of that kind of translucent see-through. But so often, we're going to reprint because it doesn't always match up to our expectations, and I have done that. The research team says they're hoping the system's going to help in areas where looks do matter a lot, especially places like dentistry for matching crowns and bridges or architecture for models. And honestly, I want it for my little prints that I make myself. So it is right now aimed at FDM printing, and it's said that they're meaning for it to complement the slicer previews, not necessarily to replace them. So they have a big idea they said is very simple. Better previewing should save time, material, and frustration. And I think we'd all agree, anything that saves us all of those, and especially filament, well, that's something I'm all for. Now, I can imagine seeing something like this or a form of it or something in our 3D slicers, hopefully one day, whether it's this particular program or something somebody else comes up with along the same lines. But like I said, I would love to see a better preview of what I'm printing, especially if I could go through the layers and check things out. So that would be great. I just thought you might be interested in that. Recently, got a chance to speak to a great group of kids at one of my local schools' career days, and they asked me to come and talk about 3D printing, and I've done this one for the last couple of years. And I talked to them about how technology and education, all of that combines together to be a major part of all of our everyday lives, especially as they're, growing up in this. And so I try to always add in some educational aspects to it. They did seem to like it a lot, especially the time lapses and all the prints I had. I had a printer running, and they really enjoyed the little fidgets that I gave them as they went out to remind them of what we talked about. Well, I summed all of it up for them, just like I remind you at the end of every video, that, no matter what we do in this life that we've been given, we should always do our best to learn, create, and amaze.